folks. Last week we didn't have a lot of news, but there's a lot of game announcements being made. We are on our way to coming up to the Spiel Essen, which is only a month away. So a lot of different announcements. We want to start it out by a small announcement that involves us. Every month, Board Game Geek has an update on promos and accessories and upgrades and things like that. And our stuff from last year, our 2021 Kickstarter, many of those promos are available there. So if you want to get some of those, check out the Board Game Geek store.
Very cool.
But speaking of Board Game Geek, the Geek Market, which they closed about a month ago or so, they reopened it. So they're changing it. So if you, which is good for me anyway, because if I was looking for a used copy of a game, or sometimes even a new copy, this was, for me, the fastest and most convenient way to find one. So everything is the same. BGG's taking 3% of the price, but it has more. You are dealing with the person directly. There was something that the reason they changed it, I think, was taxes and something on the line of, it was being sold through BGG. Now I think BGG is just facilitating me selling it to you, like a Craigslist type thing.
Oh, okay. I was looking at like the list of how it works. It seemed exactly the same, but so for a business reason, so that they're not liable, sort of like a eBay transactions, things like that. They're a facilitator, not the store. Interesting. Okay, I get it.
No, see, the way it was before is if you would go on Board Game Geek, search a game. I would say, oh, I would like to buy Lord of the Rings. And then I would just go and press buy. I would look at all the listings. I press buy. And then they would communicate with me, here's how you pay me, and so on. Now you communicate with them, and I think you pay after that. And then they are charged 3% of the listing price. I guess they get I don't know how that works, but either way, I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have a game coming from DLP, who's probably best known for Orleans, called Rise. This is kind of an unusual cover here. Like, if you glance at it, it looks like ghosts.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's another industrial age type game, and I've looked at the game board and went over the rules a little bit. It looks really fun, like using different cards, and there's tracks. I'm pretty pumped about it. It's very somewhat colorful game. This cover, I think they're trying to get the people who went and bought what's that game from Arcane Wonders?
Furnace.
Furnace.
Yeah, I was looking at this and saying this has a very Furnace-esque look to it, but obviously it is a different game, much different game.
Yeah, I'm not loving that cover, I have to say. I have not looked any deeper.
This is definitely one of my more anticipated games, I think, at this point, coming at the Spiel.
Wow.
Well, here's a cover I don't like. A new Lord of the Rings cooperative game. We just talked about that, from Michael Reinach and coming from Cosmos. So this is they're the same company who did the original Lord of the Rings cooperative game. Here, though, for some reason, I hate this cover. It makes Lord of the Rings look like generic fantasy. And yes, when I said that yesterday, Chris was like, Lord of the Rings, established generic fantasy. I get it. But when I look at this, I don't think Lord of the Rings. I just think, ugh.
Well, yeah, I don't think this cover does much for the IP, which is obviously the greatest, my favorite IP of all. But as far as this game is concerned, Lord of the Rings, from Cosmos, designer cred, this is like an insta-buy for me. So
no. Yeah, sure. I'm not going to let that stop me. Michael Reinach is a good designer.
Yeah. So I'm like, I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be one of my first stops at Essen if they have it there.
Yeah, the question is will it be in English? Will this have English rules? Is the question.
That actually is a good question because so but Cosmos now has an American arm to it. So
that's true, and they just released Cosmos. They just released the Lord of the Rings Exit game, and that did come out in America, so it's not a licensing issue.
Right. I just played that, and it was good, very good.
Was it Lord of the Ringsy?
It is.
Did it feel pasted on?
No, it's the exit games they're always a little pasted on. I think no matter what you're doing.
Were you stuck in Mount Doom?
I was stuck, and we scored 3 points out of a possible 10. So I didn't carry the team. Let's put it that way. I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. And I can't wait for this one.
All right. Marvel Villainous has Venom expansion coming out for it. I don't know if this is a single character. They've never done a single character. They've always done their stuff in groups of 3. So I don't know what that means. Maybe it's Venom, Carnage, and I don't know, Sonic. I don't know.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, is it Sonic or Scream? I forget the Carnage's girlfriend.
Sonic, okay? You just confirmed Sonic is coming to Marvel Villainous.
And then we'll go get a hot dog there.
And Knuckles after that. This is cool looking. I like the sculpt. Their little busts that you use in the game always look awesome.
All right. Moving on to Halloween Party. This is coming from Trick or Treat Studios, who's taking over the horror-themed gaming of, because they're publishing a lot of them. This one's designed by Bruno Feduti. And your people are coming to your party. You have to decide if you want them to come to your party or will they kill the mood. You have to offer them to your opponents, which really sounds like one of those old blue box games.
Yeah, actually, there was an old blue box with a Halloween theme, and I wonder, now I have to go look, I wonder if this is that reprinted. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not familiar with this one at all.
It was called Halloween Party, man.
Really?
The original. But that's a different designer, though. So that's not
that was Christopher Bollinger who designed that one.
Yeah. Okay, so Halloween Party, though, is the same as Knock Knock.
I played that actually.
Knock Knock is this is that. So Knock Knock is from these 2 designers. It came out from Jolly Roger Games. Remember, they had those really pretty pencil drawings, and it's the same thing. You offer someone a character, and they can accept it or not accept it. I think you have to take it back and put it in front of you if they do not accept, if they don't take it. That's what this is.
I gave it a 6. I said my final thoughts were it's a simple little bluffing game that's mediocre for adults but fairly fun for children.
It is currently ranked 20,699 on Board Game Geek.
Not the most prized game, apparently.
Oh, they might have changed it. So
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and it's it really fits the theme of what they're doing very well. That's for sure.
The next game for Trick or Treat looks even more interesting. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is coming from Scott Rogers. Now, they're calling it a semi-co-op game, which makes me think you're all running from Leatherface is his name, I think?
Yeah, baby, Leatherface.
You're running from Leatherface, and I guess if he gets... I don't care if we all get out, as long as I get out.
Yeah, I like those games. I don't have to run fastest. I got to run faster than you.
So once he catches you, he takes you to the killing room, and then you have 3 turns to escape before he eliminates the player. And the box has an interior surface that has a nubbly feeling to feel unsettling on your skin.
Of course, you need that. So is this a 1 versus many, or is the gameplay?
I don't think so. I think you're all running from him.
Okay, you're all running from him. So, but everybody could lose. So, well, why would? Yeah, you might have to help somebody to like.
That sounds interesting. I don't like this theme. I don't like that theme necessarily, but that sounds like an interesting game.
Yeah, this is actually a movie I was never interested in, the whole concept of it. I don't like the torture type movies, but
I'm not interested in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie, but I'm interested in a game that will do what this sounds like.
I'm kind of with you. I like this theme in a game more because the game doesn't scare me.
Yeah, no, it's not. This doesn't even come close to scaring. Though I don't think I really want to be in his room in the bottom of the basement getting hacked up. That would be pretty.
It doesn't sound good, does it, Buonocore?
Okay, moving on. Okay, so then Trick or Treat Studios is also, though, making some non-horror games. They're starting a classic line of games. And this is going to have previous titles. It looks like mostly Tasty Minstrel games. So we have Gold West, Scoville, Luna, and At the Gates of Loyang, all very highly rated games. None of them were like huge hits, but all games that people talk about and like.
Yeah, that's an interesting new direction for Trick or Treat. Like, I mean, I really, like I just said, I think that Halloween party game, I don't know if it's going to be good or not, this new printing, but it really fits what they're doing. This obviously does not. They're starting a new thing, and I guess if they get all these games back into publication and there's folks out there who want them, I have to applaud that. I do find it a little weird that anytime a company comes out that tries to do something very specific, they have a hard time staying on that horse and just doing that thing. There's a few that have done it, but it seems to be difficult.
You mean like if they said they're going to do reprints of older games but then stop?
Yes.
Sort of like that? Got it.
That seems very pointed, but yes.
I think that was a knock, but that's not what I did, Tom. So that's fine. Good. Well, you can continue.
Daybreak is a new game coming from Matt Leacock and CMYK. So this is getting some buzz. Really cool cover. Getting
Great
some buzz
cover. I love that cover.
Well, Matt Leacock's involved. That's pretty much it. You are trying to stop and make the world a better place to live in. It's going to be coming to Backer Kit on September 20th.
Look at that.
Very pretty.
I'm excited.
Then we have, let's see, Fuse Countdown. So this is a new game for Fuse. Fuse from Kane Klenko and Renegade. This is another one here. What is the difference here? Is it expansions? What? Hang on. It's a standalone or an expansion. Got it. That's why I'm confused.
Oh, okay. That's nice to see Fuse get some more attention. It's a game I think is all right. I don't like this kind of game generally, but I think Fuse does what it does really well. It's nice to see it get more content, because the one thing I could say for Fuse is if you play it a lot, you'll see all the cards every time, the different things you can do with stacking dice, with rolling dice. You'll see everything in there pretty quickly, and I guess getting stale. So this is a nice move. I'm surprised to see it get an expansion standalone thing, and it's a really cool cover. It seems very inspired by The Crew, doesn't it? Like there's a Crew vibe to that cover.
Yeah, that's actually
maybe
a very good point.
All right. Well, in not great covers zone here, we have a new game from Friedman Freeze called Fancy Feathers. And what on earth is this cover?
I literally saw this and I was like, I'm going to have a nightmare from this cover. Why does it look, Tom? Make it stop looking at me, Tom.
It's a two-player game where you're moving along a line of cards. You can move as far as you want. And if at the start of your turn you're alone on the card, you collect it and any cards behind it. And then you're collecting sets of birds. The game sounds fun. Friedman Freeze is a good designer of games.
Two-player game.
But, whew. Sorry, everybody. But let's go to another Friedman Freeze game. Sorry, what?
No, it's interesting. It's a two-player only game. I don't know in my head that I remember him doing another two-player game. Interesting. But yeah,
let's go to a slightly better-looking cover.
Okay.
That is slightly better.
Findorif.
Findor.
Well, it's not as horrific as the last one.
I don't know. That guy has a dark secret.
You're moving a guy along a track again. That gives you workers, and I think you're placing workers, and I don't know. They're both releasing at Essen. We'll tell you more about them after we see them. This almost looks like a lookout game.
Yeah.
Also, he has this is in the news because Mike found it amusing. but there's some bonuses of Pheasant Farts.
Pheasant Fart. The set of Pheasant Farts consists of 3 cards. For each Pheasant Fart, lose 1 stated. I guess this is part of the first game, the Fancy Feathers.
It's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this promo?
You know what?
promo.
I'm a little. I typed in Pheasant Fart in Google. I'm regretting that a bit.
Safe search on.
Well, that's a. Yeah, I can't figure out what game this is for.
It's like an explosion.
Moving on. Let's talk about something that everyone's excited about.
I love freedom. I love freedom.
A new expansion for Ark Nova. The first expansion. In fact, look at the title. First expansion, which means there'll be more than one. No,
is it really cool? No, it's called Aquarius,
no, it's
right?
a placeholder. Yes. This is just a placeholder box cover. Anyway, this is all about sea animals. And you're going to be able to add water stuff to your zoo, and which will need special enclosures. And also there's a way to go through the deck faster, which everybody knew was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So there's also alternate versions of the 5 action cards. That sounds amazing. Amazing. I'm very excited about this. It's coming out sometime in 2023.
All right.
A lot of expansions in the news today. We have an expansion for Origins. I didn't know the game was popular enough to get that, but hey, it's a pretty solid game from Board and Dice. I like it. It's going to have 2 modules. That's mostly how Board and Dice does their expansions, with multiple modules in them. So it's coming out October. Twilight Struggle card game. So this is called Twilight Struggle Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa. This is supposed to be delivered in late 2022. I got to say, I'm pretty pumped about this, but cautious, because the game Twilight Struggle is so amazing. It's the same game designer, but taking an amazing board game, making it a card game is it's like, I think, what do you get, Zee? I think a 50-50 chance of it being good?
I would put it slightly higher than that, but I understand there's that trepidation of, well, you're messing with something that's already solid. Is it going to benefit you to call it that, or is it going to hurt you to call it that? Whatever the game ends up being, right? There's that sort of psychological aspect of it.
I like the fact that it's a half hour to an hour and 15 game. That to me sounds like it's
per player, and it's a 6-player minimum, though.
It's a 2-player game. All right.
No, the whole playtime is a half hour to an hour 15. That's not so bad.
I was kidding.
It isn't.
Okay, sorry.
This next piece of news really tickles me here. So, Cash and Guns is a game that I find to be very fun, but some people are uncomfortable because you're pointing foam guns at each other. So rather than face that, they've rethemed it as Stupefy. I'm just looking forward to seeing this game be played at conventions, because you're going to be pointing wands at each other, and then, is your wand, if you played a Stupefy, you hit your target, knock down their flag, unless they ignored their card and declared Protego. So they pronounce it. I don't know. It's coming out in September. Yep. That's now.
So is it the same game?
It looks like it's pretty close. It's a reworking, so I'm sure they've changed things.
I like that. I like that, Tom. Whenever I point my wand at you, you don't know if my wand is loaded.
I am so putting this in the Dice Tower library. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. It's coming from Repos Games. And I wonder if it's being released worldwide, because of the Harry Potter license or not. But I will get a copy of this by hook or crook. It's going to Dice Tower library.
That's great.
All right. The next Eagle Griffin title has been announced, because people are already screaming about Weather Machine, and it's not even out. But the next one's called Inventions. It's designed by what? Vitella Serra? Oh, my word. Ian O'Toole's doing the art?
Oh,
okay.
So surprising.
That's a
I
very
think it's a
cool
light
cover,
bulb.
though.
Is that a light bulb or a hot air balloon?
That would
That's
be
the
a light
idea. I
bulb.
think the idea is it's supposed to look
Yes.
like a bunch of
It's a light
things.
bulb. It's a
There's
light bulb with.
and a hot air balloon, and there are other designs within it. That's a gorgeous cover. I really like that
Piece
style.
of art. That's a piece of art.
All right. Zee will be reviewing it.
Zero information on this game except for that. So yeah,
I will be
stay tuned.
reviewing this game's art.
Well, speaking of art, Dominion has announced its 15th expansion with Pirates. Plunder. It's going to have a lot of cards in it. I'm trying to get through this before we talk about the cover. It's going to have a lot of cards in it. And a lot of treasures. There's 500 cards, and it's 40 new kingdom cards, treasure cards, duration cards, traits that modify piles and events. I'm very much looking forward to it. But what happened to these guys' eyes?
This cover is a very interesting cover. They all look terrifying. They have no pupils.
Maybe they are blind, Z? Maybe it's like a bunch of blind pirates fighting over treasure?
Well, no, they just have odd
I don't know.
eyes.
This is so strange. It's fine. It's just a little creepy. It's Dominion. You know you're not gonna get some wonderful graphic design or artwork in Dominion. It's just sort of, unfortunately, it's kind of par for the course now, and it's almost now a point of pride with the way these games look. You know, they've had a chance to do a second edition. In fact, they did, and could have done something like Pandemic did when it became clearly too big, and they were like, we need to make sure this now looks like it's not just for hobbyists. This is now for everyone. Clean up the look. Go for a new style, something that will appeal to the masses. These people do not appeal, I would say, to the masses.
But there's gold. I am very excited about the expansion, though. I love Dominion, so looking forward to more cards for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so big news of the week here is Ravensburger has announced Lorcana, a trading card games, and it's Disney themed. So this is pretty interesting. It's coming out in 2023. Ravensburger already has the Disney license. They've done Disney Villainous, but this is a trading card game, a collectible card game, and just same words for different words for the same thing. But it's the first Ravensburger has done in this regard, and I think a trading Disney game is going to sell at least a little bit here.
It sounds like they're putting a lot behind this. From what I've read, from what I've seen, this is not something, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, obviously, the inner workings of any of this, but it does not seem this is them tossing out some lure and seeing if they catch anything. It looks like they've put a lot of time and development and money behind this. I was reading that this will have the most original Disney artwork of any product that Disney has put out ever. That sounds expensive, and it sounds like a big investment. So I'm personally pretty excited for this. This could be great, I mean, it might be a little light for me. They are trying to, and this might be the trap, is they're trying to appeal to everyone. Kids, this is your trading card game. Older people who are nostalgic for Disney, this is your trading card game. Magic the Gathering pros, we will take you to. That might be the trap here.
Yeah. So to add to what you're saying, Z, there was two like takes on this one. I saw it. There was like the ICV2 was just very like bland. It was like Ravensburger's coming out with a new game based on Disney. But then you looked into different sources, which what I think you got to, and it's quoted in here, that there was it really looks like they brought together people who have got Magic the Gathering experience to do this game, that Disney is almost involved in the game, just more than just, add our stuff onto it. I mean, they look like they're taking on Magic the Gathering. They realize that market is so tremendous. So you bring together one of the largest companies in the world, Disney. You bring together one of the largest game companies in the world, largest in Germany, as we know, Ravensburger. You bring them together with people who have worked on Magic. This could be big. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they end up with the World Championship of Lorcana, at Disney World or things like that. I mean, there's potential
That's what I would do, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's potential for some really serious stuff here when you bring together this kind of.
Yeah, no, I can't hear anything you're saying, Stephen. Can you hear him, Z?
Oh, don't know, but don't let him know. I just nod and smile, Tom.
I hear you. I hear you guys. So I'm not a CCG player, and I haven't been since the 90s, but I'm really excited about this game.
I am.
Well
but
said.
Here's the things. They said they're going to release this next fall, and they're going to have 4 new card releases each year, as well as a robust, organized play program. Great. The only thing is, 99% of trading card games fail. Straight up.
Yes.
It happens all the time. And that's a self-perpetuating thing because it makes people wary of new ones. Now, if the game is a solid game and you don't need to keep pumping new sets into it, that's fine by me. But I don't know. I just worry about that because, I mean, what do we got? Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Digimon, and, maybe 5 other ones, a few overseas and such. But even most games, they're big for a bit, and then they're gone.
If one group of people and one IP could do it, this is the one to take on the top 2 or 3, right? Right, you said Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Those are the only 3 really big ones, I think.
I agree with you that the license can do it, but, I mean, I like Ravensburger, but I don't know if they can do it or not. They've not done this before. I mean, I hope so. I like Ravensburger, but
certainly. But Disney's power behind that possibly can do it. I'm hopefully optimistic. That's all.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in that category. So
yeah, I think the fear there is, just to say, is that Disney is saying, we're putting so much money into this, we're pumping this up, it's going to be enormous, it's going to be tremendous. Oh, return figures on the first set aren't that hot. Pull it, we're moving on. That's the fear, right? Like many big companies, they're like, we'll cut our losses. Let's what's the next thing? And hopefully that does not happen.
All righty, folks. Well, that is the news for today.